Hi, I'm Aaron Catley. We're working with talent management, doing a data analytics review over employee retainment and salary. We'll be going through some exploratory data analysis and our models that give our predictive results. Our initial data review shows that we had no erroneous data, NAs, anything like that would require some major cleaning. We did find some columns such as over 18 or the RAND column that really didn't have any impact to the analysis, and they weren't included for the overall analysis. Attrition will be the first variable that we'll look at. We've run a random forest to show us some of the more important variables that we need to be considering when we're modeling for our predictive analysis. Here you can see that we have overtime, monthly income, and job role as some of the more important variables, but we do have others that we need to be considering as well, and we'll be looking at all of those during our exploratory analysis. We'll begin our exploratory data analysis by looking at job role versus attrition. I've broken down each job role by whether they're experiencing attrition or not and their percentages. Here you can see that laboratory technician and sales representative, two lower level positions, are experiencing the highest percentage of attrition. Here we're looking at monthly income versus attrition, where you can see lower income employees are experiencing the highest percentages of attrition. Here's where we have overtime. Now, while there's not as many people working overtime, they do on average have a higher percentage overall in comparison to those that do not work overtime. And finally, we have age versus attrition, where you can see that basically anybody who is 30 and below are experiencing a higher percentage of attrition than those that are not. Here I've developed a scatter plot showing age versus monthly income colored by attrition. And you can see that clustering in the lower left showing lower income employees and younger people overall will have a more likelihood of showing attrition. Next, I built a simple table showing some additional groups and their percentages of attrition. Here, gender, male and female, actually have a fairly equal percentages of who's experiencing attrition. In job involvement, scaled 1 through 4, the lowest level of involvement shows the highest percentage at almost 47%. Next, in stock options, you actually see something interesting where the lowest level and the highest level of stock option levels show the highest percentages of attrition. Work-life balance, again, the lowest level shows a high percentage of 35%. And finally, overtime, those who are working an hourly overtime rate show a higher percentage of attrition at almost 31%. Here's a quick heat map kind of showing some correlation between some of the variables we'll be using for our modeling. You can see some that, such as job level and total working years, are correlating. Years at company versus your total working years, monthly income, job level, all those are correlating versus some of the others which don't seem to have any correlation, which will be great to see when we run the models. The most important predictors for our modeling are going to be overtime, job role, and monthly income. However, we want to make sure we include all the important variables like age and marital status, which also showed really good numbers. Now, based on the data, we can conclude that employees who are young, single, low income, and working long hours are going to be the most likely to experience attrition. Our assumption for our predictive analysis will be that, for the most part, our variables have a normal distribution, although for those that don't, we have a large enough sample size that we should be robust to any non-normality. Our data is independent and that our variance is equal. For this analysis, I've selected a naive Bayes model, which is great for classification. I've selected many important variables using the random forest and some of the other visualizations that I've done in the exploratory data analysis to put together this model. And as you can see, we've met our goal that it has an accuracy of 81%, a sensitivity of 85%, and a specificity of 62%. For our salary analysis, we've created another random forest to show some of the more important variables such as job role and age we'll need for our predictive analysis. Moving on, we've created a box plot showing the job level versus monthly income, and you can see that lower level employees versus higher level employees have the income distribution we would expect. Moving on, we've got a box plot showing our education field versus monthly income, where there really isn't much of a change in the distribution of income throughout the education fields with the exception of HR, which has a little bit lower median, but overall the spread is also larger. From there, we looked at job role versus monthly income, which, as you can also tell, higher level employees such as research directors may have a higher income distribution than lower level employees such as sales representatives. Lastly, I've created a scatter plot showing total working years versus monthly income, which, as you can see, it correlates as you would expect that higher tenure employees make more money. For our predictive analysis, I've used a simple linear regression using some of the most important variables that I've discovered through the random forest and the overall exploratory data analysis. As you can see, I've come up with a RMSE of 1048, which is far below the 3000 requirement. With this, we've exported the data from both the attrition and salary predictive analyses to CSVs for your review. With that, we've completed our analysis, and I thank you for your time.